it. What is it, ink?
Yes, apparently. Gone?
Sort of. Your top lip still has it. No.
I have no idea what it is. I think it's...
No, it doesn't.
Again? Still? Okay, that's as good as it gets. Hi, everybody.
Now your lipstick's all over your face and your teeth.
I have lipstick on.
Wait, what is... Let me see. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what it is. I'm not sure. Okay. I'm not going to squish my lips together anymore. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Right Stuff with Jen and Leticia.
Wow.
Hi, Ralph is with us, and my mother is with us.
Who I called today and left a message for and didn't call me back.
And she didn't call you.
I thought she was dead.
Well, we had, I don't know what I did. I did something. I got something all over my lip. So forgive anybody that was on early for the blank screen. Hey, Bobby, how are you? That was my co-host last week, Jennifer, Bobby Dutcher.
Nice.
He was good enough. He was
of course, I didn't watch it yet.
He was brave enough to jump on. Yeah, well, because you were a dirty stay out. Tell everybody where you were last week.
Oh, yeah, dirty stay out. I was in Boca with my son looking at his college. Dirty stay out. I stood in bed watching porn stars.
You were in Boca Raton, Florida.
And did I go to the beach? No.
What's that?
I didn't even go to the beach.
Well, I don't know. Doing great. We're doing great, Bobby. And the OG is there. How are you? Good to see you, Lucille. Hi, proud mom and grandma. Oh, Ty. Oh, yeah. Isn't it fantastic? Brag about your son. I mean, basically a full scholarship almost.
No. What are you, nuts? That covers a year and a half of school to $80,000.
Oh.
He got $80,000 for academics. Yeah, it's like 40-something thousand a year. Yeah. No, so yeah, no, I'm sorry. It covers a year, and he has to keep up a 2.0. Let me tell you, they have high standards there. But
listen, he got an academic scholarship from Zavarian High School.
Yeah.
You should be really proud.
And you know what I get? Financial aid. Meanwhile, everybody that's coming over the border is going to school for free.
Wait. They didn't give you financial aid?
No, I make
a single mother
with her own company.
It doesn't matter.
And a job. They gave me like a small, like little, legitimately tiny bit that nothing. It'll buy him food.
Okay, so the dreamers get full bore, and you have to pay your way. Struggle after sending
prostitute, sell drugs.
Hello, Martin. Oh, I'm glad you're here with us. Hey, Martin, do you know what time it is? Jen, do you know what time it is? Time for the right stuff.
A half inch means a lot sometimes.
This pumpkin latte sucks, and I want to speak to your manager.
How much is the economy today? Oh, it's that much.
Objection, hearsay. Objection, leading. Objection, hearsay.
Where is that woman when Biden speaks?
I like the longer version.
I know you like the longer version, but we lose viewers every time I play.
Is that why?
Roz's son graduated Zavarian 2018. Yeah, Zavarian has a great roster of people who have graduated. Okay, so anyway, tonight, Jen. Wait, before we get into the show, let's tell everybody what they did by being so involved and active in sharing our show. We are now going to be on TNT Radio Live Saturday. I don't know why they call it live. It's going to air Saturday at 9:00, but we're going to tape it tomorrow at 8:30.
It's all live. It's a Democrat radio station. They pull the bull.
They're misleading. Well, we're going to be at Castleton Corners Pub, which is at 1815 Victory Boulevard tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. And we're going to be on air with John Matlin, who has a show, and we're going to be on with our good friend Scott Lebedo. So if you want to see three kooky people on do a podcast live in front of you, come down to Castleton Corners Pub tomorrow at 8:30 and watch us. And we thank everybody who shared our show and promoted us, because that's how we got the call to come on. So aren't you excited, Jen?
I'm very excited.
Yeah. Did you see the promo that they did for us on Facebook? You were in an evening gown?
Yes, I saw the photo. I he tagged me on Instagram. I didn't even know who he followed me, and then I was like, okay. So I looked at his stuff, and I was like, all right, I'll follow him back. It's a podcast. And then he put me on the story, and I'm like, what the?
But the evening gown, I love it. I'm in a I don't know, a work shirt with my
whatever sign. I'm in an evening gown from Ev's wedding.
Yeah, you're in an evening gown. So I guess the video will be focused on you, my dear. And why not? You're so beautiful.
Aw,
yes, you are. So tonight's show is called Drive by Biden. And it's called that because, I mean, Jen, have you been watching the news? I know you
ask me this all the time. Me going to Boca for 36 hours has thrown off my whole month. So with work. I'm never watching TV again.
Hi, Chris. Well, you were in Boca for 36 hours and didn't go to the beach. I don't get it.
And I was exactly 600 feet from the beach, but my son doesn't like the beach. I said, are you sure you want to move here?
Yeah. Well, he likes fishing.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to hang out.
We're going to go to the beach. Maybe walk past it. Keep going.
I used to hang out on the strip there, A1A, when I was a kid. When I was like 13 years old, we used to hang out in the bars. Yeah. With the college kids. My mother's watching. I better shut up. Well, at any rate, Jen, a lot of stuff. Wait, hold on. It's the professor, not bye-bye. Well, it was Drive BYE Biden, because apparently Joe Biden's own people are after him. They have found, get this, top secret documents.
That I know. Yep. That I know. And you know what's so funny? If of all people, they should be worried about Hunter Biden being there with those papers. That's it. I mean, really, who else goes to visit that guy? Everyone hates him.
Well, Hunter Biden is supposedly, that's his main residence, and he pays $50,000 a month or a year in rent to live there. And so those documents were there, and everybody's concerned about where the documents were, that they were in the garage, that they were at UPenn. I'm not so concerned where they were. I'm concerned of what they contained, because
No, it's so funny because they said, well, they're both wrong, but Trump put up a fight and didn't give them right over. Biden had no choice but to give them right over. His lawyers found them in his house. They're the ones. It was done. It wasn't like a raid. They had them in their hands. So he had to be cooperative because he didn't have them in his possession. So
the interesting thing is the difference between, and I just put up Bobby's comments here. The difference between Trump and Biden is that Trump was a sitting president, had those documents, took what he thought he could, what he declassified with him to Mar-a-Lago. He had them in a place where the Secret Service protected. And he was in conversation constantly with the archives, because he was saying, I believe these are not classified. They said, well, we think they are, and blah, blah, blah. And because of the disagreement, they decided to send the FBI in a raid of his house to make all of that brouhaha. With Biden, the documents belong to Obama, not to Biden. He was a vice president. He couldn't declassify them. He's had them since 2016 when he vacated, or before, right? Because they were part of the Obama administration. and he couldn't declassify them. And the UPenn Biden Center, by the way, was funded by the Chinese. And so we got a lot of problems with that. Now, there's a special investigation going on and all that. Merrick Garland called for that. But today, when asked why he didn't send the FBI to Biden, he said he had the ability to do it, but he chose not to. So you're telling me that this guy is not protecting his own? Biden isn't progressive enough as to why they are after him. Yeah, well, that's absolutely right. And none of this would have happened. No log-on visitors on Biden's home. That's right. There's never been that. But because Biden spends so much time in the House, I think that he sets a precedent amongst all other presidents who have never spent as much time as Biden has at home. Biden spends more than 40% of his time as president in his home in Delaware. And the demented fool took a trip to Ukraine during the last days of Obama presidency. Probably had the documents with him. He's a compromised president. If he's president at all right? I mean, well, we know he's president, but what's he doing?
He doesn't know he's president.
Yeah, he doesn't know he's president. Well, but the thing is that as they knew this all happened in November before the midterm elections. So the Biden administration did not tell the public that this was going on. They claimed to be transparent, but they never told anybody about it. It happened in November before the midterms, and they waited till January to tell. And as they're saying that everything was found and given, more documents come and more documents, more documents come. So we got a real problem.
He bashed Trump and said it was disgraceful and despicable how he had those classified papers. So.
Right. What was he thinking? Jody Wasserman's with us. How
Jody.
you doing? I hope you're feeling better, Jody. Cindy is with us. Nice to see you both. Biden has no ability to declassify anything as VP. Trump did as POTUS. Let the Biden investigation begin in earnest. Well, I don't know. I mean, it seems like members of his own party don't want him to run, and that's why this is all happening now. Suddenly, the real people in charge.
Do you think Leticia James is going to do anything to him?
No, Leticia James won't, because it's Delaware. It's not anything. Tish James is going after Trump because his corporation was
in New York. He doesn't have anything to do in New York, Biden, I guess.
No, nothing to do in New York. Well, so we're going to get to some clips about that, and we'll talk about it in a minute. But I wanted to start with this clip. It's the Fauci Award for Gullible People, and it goes to the United States government, because this isn't the first time that they had a cover up, did something unethical. As a matter of fact, Bill Clinton is going to explain how the U.S. government actually did scientific experiments on military. Watch this.
The Fauci Award for Gullible People. Thousands of government-sponsored experiments did take place at hospitals, universities, and military bases around our nation. The goal was to understand the effects of radiation exposure on the human body. While most of the tests were ethical by any standards, some were unethical, not only by today's standards, but by the standards of the time in which they were conducted. They failed both the test of our national values and the test of humanity. In one scientist injected plutonium into 18 patients without their knowledge. In another, doctors exposed indigent cancer patients to excessive doses of radiation, a treatment from which it is virtually impossible that they could ever benefit. The report also demonstrates that these and other experiments were carried out on precisely those citizens who count most on the government for its help, the destitute and the gravely ill. But the dispossessed were not alone. Members of the military, precisely those on whom we and our government count most, they were also test subjects. Informed consent means your doctor tells you the risk of the treatment you are about to undergo. In too many cases, informed consent was withheld. Americans were kept in the dark about the effects of what was being done to them. The deception extended beyond the test subjects themselves to encompass their families and the American people as a whole. For these experiments were kept secret, and they were shrouded not for a compelling reason of national security, but for the simple fear of embarrassment. And that was wrong.
Testing on humans without their consent. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Anybody, does it bring up any thoughts of, I don't know, COVID shots?
You really want to get us banned. You're not allowed to say that.
Oh, yes, I am.
No,
I mean,
you're not.
listen, it was an experimental shot, and they mandated members of the military to get it. They mandated members of, employees.
They mandated everybody to get it.
They mandated employees of government to get it. They couldn't mandate private employees, but
they did. Well, yes, they did. Private sectors of 100 employees or more, I think, whatever it was.
No, they couldn't. There was a lawsuit against that. But what happened was the cities mandated it if you wanted to utilize any restaurants or anything like that. But you didn't have to get it. You just couldn't go to certain places.
I thought hospitals made you.
But hospitals, if you wanted to stay and work there, you had to get it.
It's a private sector.
Yep. So, well, kind of quasi. Timing is key, Peter. Same with NRA, which was originally incorporated in New York. Yes, that's right. Tish James went after NRA. Democrats are hell-bent to destroy America. Absolutely. Is Kamala gets bumped up after 21 January, she can be president for 10 years. Oh, please, God forbid. Please, God, no. Not that. We have a clip about Kamala's latest speech. And there's no way. I mean,
that's when I jump off the Verrazano. I never understood it, but I probably would that day.
Was Monica under the desk? Oh, that's terrible. Hey, listen, at least he uncovered that and he made it public. We wouldn't have known. They were doing that up to 1974. Right, exactly. COVID was tested on the most vulnerable Americans. That's right. Exactly, Jody Wasserman. I'm not going to say it because when
you're not allowed.
When I said it, I was called a Nazi. Yes, it wasn't approved, just emergency use. Absolutely. So think about where we are right now. Polio vaccines clearly work. COVID vaccines are.
Isn't it amazing how all of us, we had a huge strain coming at us 3 months ago. It was deadlier than the first one, and now I haven't heard anything about COVID.
Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact,
monkeypox. It all went.
Well, that strain actually. Well, since we're talking about the COVID vaccine, let's hear this clip. Watch this.
Right now is 8:05. It's time for your morning rush here. The CDC says there could be a safety issue with Pfizer's updated COVID-19 vaccine. New numbers reveal a possible increase in a certain type of stroke in people 65 and older who recently received one of the updated boosters. This potential risk was detected using a monitoring system that called the vaccine safety data link. Seniors might be more likely to have these kinds of strokes within the first 3 weeks after the shot compared with weeks 4 through 6.
So we're finally admitting that COVID vaccines are causing strokes. And this is exactly why I didn't want your son to get it. Myocarditis, which his age group is at risk for. So, 14 to 21-year-olds. It was showing up after the vaccine and they were hiding it.
Oh, we would have for sure gotten it.
And now they're just easing it in and saying that it's at risk for seniors, but they're not talking about it for kids still.
And you're not allowed to talk about, you're not AFib, you're not allowed to talk about any of that stuff. And how many people I know that had got AFib from that?
Yeah, absolutely. Ralph, I have read your Mother's Day message. I think these vaccines are causing seizures and strokes and blood clots. Yes, but that's what they're showing, Jody.
There's no study for them. You need 5 to 10 years of study for after you even prove anything. 5 years.
Well, now they're coming out and they're showing that it's true. Hey, Jen, did you share the podcast on your page?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Twice.
Okay. You have to see Died Suddenly. It's a documentary about all the sudden deaths by the great people that put people in grave. I forget what they're called. Got it. Died Suddenly. We'll have to watch out for that. Where did my seizure come from? Jody.
I didn't know she had a seizure.
Yeah, that's last week.
With the aneurysm? Oh.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, all I know is that we said it early on. We heard nurses testify in front of Congress that these blood clots were occurring, these strokes were occurring in kids, and everybody was silenced. And now it's coming out. And I figure in about 10 years, we're going to see some of those commercials late night, call, Yakov, Joy, and Mazur if you want to sue the government for your COVID vaccine. Because that's what's going to happen. I mean, we knew that, those of us who didn't take it for a reason. And now they're talking about all of a sudden that natural antibodies are just as helpful in saving your life as COVID shots. But I remember when we were yelling that and all kinds of protests that people were calling us lunatics and conspiracy theorists and whatnot else.
Saturday I was sitting at dinner and out of nowhere, I just all of a sudden my chest started going out of rhythm again and I couldn't breathe. I thought that was it. I'm done. I had to leave dinner. It was embarrassing, the whole table.
Well, you need to talk to your cardiologist because
I already have a new one. I already got a new car. I'm not going back to that guy.
Undertakers were complaining. You mean about the COVID vaccine? I'm sure they were. I mean, but it just if you talk to any nurses in the emergency room, they would tell you exactly what was going on.
You can't administer anything to anybody without 10 years of a study. You don't know the effects. We were the guinea pigs. That's it. There's nothing else to go by.
And that's why that first clip was there because, maybe it wasn't secret scientific experiments. This one was right out in the open, but it was still a secret because they were keeping the information from us. And while other countries, in the beginning, we were all talking about do what other countries do. And then when the other countries were not recommending the vaccines for certain age groups, we didn't listen. The Biden administration decided to mandate it for everybody. And that was truly the Democrats, not the Republican governors, but the Democrat mayors and governors. They were the ones that were mandating it. So you got to wonder why. Okay. By the way, welcome back, Jen.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. Well, since we talked about her, let's see what our vice president was up to this week.
I think of this moment as a moment that is about great momentum, inspired by, yes, optimism, inspired by a crisis, no doubt, but inspired by also our collective ability to see what can be unburdened by what has been. And that's critically important.
What? I can't even. Who buys this bullshit?
What the hell did she say?
Round in circles.
They picked her to be vice president because she's the only one less coherent than Biden.
It's going to be vice president because she's black.
Good.
Exactly why. To get the old white man voted in. Please stop it.
She makes Biden look like like we can understand what the hell, like it makes sense. Replacement therapy. Kamala Latin. We're in a moment that's momentous. It's in a momentous moment in this historic moment. What?
This is so sad.
Oh, it is sad. You know why it's sad? It's so sad because she's the first female vice president, and that's the bar that was set. That would have been like what was her name? The one that I don't like.
Sarah Palin.
Palin. And that's why Palin couldn't be vice president, because I couldn't vote for her because I didn't want that to be the standard for the vice president, first female vice president. But we got one anyway. I can't. It's ridiculous. Oh, well, maybe she was educated in Virginia. Because did you hear what happened in Virginia?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well, in Virginia, get this. Now, remember that Governor Youngkin was elected because Virginia was doing all kinds of crazy stuff with the education system there. Well, Youngkin got in and he started fixing the education system. And he started with grade school because that was where the big problem was.
Is this the kid that shot the teacher?
No.
Oh.
This was, and this you could identify with. A whole bunch of kids who got merit scholarships or merit awards were not told that they got merit awards before their college applications went in, because Virginia paid a consultant Virginia high schools paid a consultant $450,000 to create an equity plan for the high schools. So in other words, not equality, not where everybody's treated the same, but equity, where everybody's outcome is the same. So in order not to make the kids who didn't get the scholarship or the awards feel bad, they didn't bother to inform the kids who did get the awards. And so their college applications went out without those awards being noticed on them or being
like an award. Oh, I thought you meant monetary awards. So just
no, these are merit awards. These are scholarship merit awards that help you get scholarships in colleges when you apply for college, right? Recommendations.
Oh, well, Ty got a merit award. They're called merit awards, but he got $80,000.
Yeah. Well, watch this newscast.
At 11, we now know how Fairfax County Public Schools is handling the national merit scandal at Thomas Jefferson High School. Tonight, the superintendent met with concerned families who claimed the school did not tell students they received those awards on purpose.
And Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin is also getting involved. Matthew Torres is here now to get us up to speed. So tell us what this is all about, Matthew.
Leslie, the governor, first off, is now calling on Attorney General Jason Miyares to start an investigation into TJ, saying it appears this was, quote, an egregious, deliberate attempt to disadvantage high-performing students. Glenn Miller's child graduated from Thomas Jefferson High School last year. He's upset the school failed to properly inform dozens of kids they were named commended students by the National Merit Scholarship Corporation this fall. It's a recognition that can help boost a college application and open up special scholarship opportunities.
We happen to think that it's part of a larger issue, which is de-emphasizing the top-performing students at TJ in the interest of equity, which is concerning.
Stop the sabotage!
Parents accuse school administrators of intentionally withholding information to avoid hurting other children's feelings. They argue the delay meant some students were unable to include the distinction in their early college applications. FCPS has since notified parents and told colleges where these students applied about their commendations. The district says it was a unique situation due to human error, now under investigation by a third party. Even the Virginia Attorney General's office says it's now carefully reviewing and evaluating the allegations.
The school's exactly like how America is now. Congratulations.
Exactly. But, there's a difference between equality and equity. And that's where we've got to be very careful of that word, equity. Equity means that everybody is equal, even if you have to lower the level for everybody to be equal. It's the outcome. Equality means everybody has the same opportunities. So these kids did not get notified, so they didn't include it on their college applications. And, think about it. Where's Ty now, right? So if you're a senior, your application already went in. You already got accepted in colleges. So now they're notifying kids. Why would they withhold it? Because they don't want people to feel bad. What the hell are we doing? This is crazy stuff.
It sucks.
That's why Carrie Lake should run as Donald Trump's VP in 2024. Well, Arizona is the state that they need. So hopefully, Jane Brown summed up Kamala like a dull knife just ain't cutting. You talking loud and saying nothing. Very good, Martin. Very good. The dumbing down of America. It's true. And we saw it in New York, right? We don't have any more of the
gifted and talented.
Yeah.
Gone out the window. For what? Why?
Because
you were going to make the smarter kids bored and drop out. You know, look at your husband. He got bored and dropped out with a month left of high school.
Yeah. Virginia needs to address little 6-year-olds who shoot their teachers. That's true. I think, you know, I got to say this, though, Martin. When a 6-year-old shoots their teacher, there's something probably very wrong with that 6-year-old.
They said it was intentional. Didn't they say it was intentional?
Yeah. I mean, you know, sociopaths.
Lucifer.
Sociopaths are sociopaths. I mean, look at the guy that killed, those 4 college students. I forget his name now. The one that
DeSales.
What's that?
He went to DeSales.
He went to DeSales, right? Why can't I think of his name? But anyway, look at him. You know, there was something wrong with him from the beginning, and we know that. And I think that you know, sometimes sociopaths, there's nothing you could do about it. It's something wrong in the brain.
Like schizophrenia.
Yeah, like schizophrenia. Equity is bullshit. James Brown's, okay, we said that already. Another step towards socialism. Yeah, well, you know, it's the dumbing down of America. And to me, I think here's what's going on, right? We've got the education system is going backwards. They don't want kids to learn things that make them smart. They want kids to learn social issues. And they want to give them pot and drugs. So what happens then? So the stupid kids stay stupid. The smart kids get bored and high. And then what you have is a working class of people that will just follow orders, not question, and just do what the government tells them to do. You know, we played.
They just speak like Kamala all day long, and
that's right, and you get rewarded for it. Yeah, you get rewarded.
I get rewarded for everything. I paid my taxes today, and guess what? The harder you work, the more you give the government. The less you work, the more the government gives you. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, think about that.
Free housing, free college, free food, free healthcare, free PS5.
Right.
And I have to pay extra in taxes.
So we're rewarding laziness and stupidness, and
they think they have it hard because they lose their lunch breaks at Twitter.
Yeah.
You're hard.
Yeah. But this is what, so what is this teaching us? There is something amiss in America right now. But it's not just America. This is happening around the world. And I don't care what anybody says. I bring it back to George Soros. That man is evil because he's got organizations all across the world doing the same thing. And this equity and social justice and all of these movements, towards letting criminals out in the street.
We're all going to equally be a piece of shit. Congratulations.
Yeah. Martin, Ted Bundy was once a 6-year-old. So was Dahmer. The kid is sick. Yeah, I agree. I think that when you see a kid that's sick like that, and my husband was just telling me that there was a kid in, I think it was Nebraska, and he shot 20 people, and they're not seeking the death penalty because he's 22. He's on. He'll tell us about it. And the truth is if you're going to shoot 22 people, the likelihood is that there's something wrong here. My friend's son, who was 6, wasn't strong enough to not only hold the gun, let alone pull the trigger. Yeah, so think about that. He is evil. Nobody should accept money from that man. Oh, Soros. I
know the 6-year-old. I'm like, the 6-year-old giving out money?
Yeah, Soros is giving out
money.
No,
I thought you meant the 6-year-old. I was like, what?
Use his children to advance their agenda. Well, they always say, if you want the parents or the adults to follow, you got to first give it to the children. So at any rate, that's what's going on in Virginia. Now, Virginia, again, the state that Youngkin was elected to fix the education system. So interesting that happened. So anyway, let's talk about Uncle Joe. So I decided to get this clip because obviously it is a clip from one of the liberal news medias because, I actually wanted to see what they were saying. So here we go.
Big breaking news here is that there have been more classified documents recovered from President Biden's Wilmington home. This is coming from these statements, according to Richard Sauber, the special counsel to the president, as well as Bob Bauer, President Biden's personal attorney. Basically, Bob Bauer is saying that as a personal attorney, he went to the Penn Biden Center. He and his team, as well as President Biden's Wilmington home, discovered these classified documents. And because he does not have a special security clearance to be able to handle these, he then informed the DOJ and the National Archives. Then Richard Bauer, the special counsel to the president, in this statement says, quote, because I have a security clearance, I went to Wilmington Thursday evening to facilitate providing the document the president's personal counsel found on Wednesday to the Justice Department. While I was transferring it to the DOJ officials who accompanied me, 5 additional pages with classification markings were discovered among the material with it for a total of 6 pages. The DOJ officials with me immediately took possession of them. This is coming, Alex, after we know that those documents found at the Penn Biden Center, they were found in November, turned over to the DOJ and the National Archives. Then that second tranche of documents was found in President Biden's garage at his Wilmington home. That was back on December 20th. And then there was one single classified document that we know of that was found in a, quote, adjacent room, according to the special counsel. So now we're discovering that there are more documents. We don't know exactly where those documents were found, but he's saying that when that single document was found back on January 11th, that there were more additional documents found with that. This is raising a whole new set of questions, as far as the level of classification that these new documents hold, after we learned earlier this week that at least one of those classified documents found at the Penn Biden Center was the highest level of classification.
The man shits his pants. He'd probably use those pages to color on. They really have doodles on them.
Oh my God. Can I ask you something, Jen? Was it just me? But did she seem to be tripping over her words trying to report this story?
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Oh, I felt like she was grating in my ears. It was like she just would run on sentences. And I would say to myself, well, they're so not used to reporting on anything bad about their favorite president. They probably didn't know what to say. Oh my God.
I don't think he's anybody's favorite president, Leticia.
I don't know. I mean, MSNBC, they're still talking about how this is not a big deal. And as a matter of fact, the Democrats are saying that the Republicans are making too much of this, that we're trying to fearmonger. There's nothing to see here. It's just a few documents.
Like they did with COVID.
Rob Reiner, actually on his Twitter page, said the difference between Trump and Biden is a nice guy who everybody respects, and Donald Trump is an evil misogynist. So that's the difference. And that's why we should not be upset about Biden's top secret documents.
Rob, I can't say it. My friend is an asshole. How about that?
I didn't hear that. Well, that's a question. The school stated that they knew that. I don't know if that's so. I don't know. If you're asking me, I don't know that to be so. San Fran giving away dollars. Oh, yes. Jen, move to San Francisco. Is all you have.
You're allowed to identify as a panda bear there and they'll give you money. You don't have to be going through a sex change or anything. All you have to do is say, I identify as transgender or pansgender, and they give you money. That's in Palm Springs.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And so everybody can go to Palm Springs and get cash. Federal prosecutors said Tuesday they will not seek the death penalty in their case against the gunman who killed 23 people in El Paso, Texas. Well, and that's Texas. That's Texas. But El Paso's.
I don't think anybody should get the death penalty. I'd rather see them rot in solitary confinement for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, but they don't. They don't rot in solitary confinement. They get iPhones, they get iPads.
Murderers do?
What?
People like that do?
Absolutely.
He was at federal prison.
Yeah, I mean, they don't allow, most prisons don't allow solitary confinement anymore. The lawyers are not classified. You will get paperwork, which I hope they did not. Yeah, right. I mean, so the lawyers were classified, but some weren't. Some didn't have clearance. Some did have.
Some had green crayon on them. Some had purple. Some had a rainbow. Some had a llama. Some had a doodle of Biden. Some had a doodle of Obama.
Oh my God! Yes, you do need access in addition to clearance, but it doesn't seem that it mattered much if they had access. It seemed like what Garland just said. Go ahead, go look at the paperwork. We're not going to send the FBI.
In his garage.
We trust you.
In his garage with his punching bag and his son's crack pipes. They were just laying there, not even in a room, locked up.
It's just it amazes me, astonishes me that with cooperation from big tech and from all of the press, that this country has been spoon-fed a load of bullshit, and the truth has been omitted. In so many ways, or not only omitted, but if you dared uttered it or questioned it, you were then blackballed and not allowed.
This is why they're making pot legal, so that you believe all this bullshit. So your head's so clouded up.
Yeah.
Everyone's so high that they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, that it's true. I mean, that right for the first thing you have to do is you have to get buy-in, and the best way to get buy-in is to give people money and to keep them out of their mind, right? So all through the pandemic, we were allowed to drink liquor, right? All the liquor stores were open, right? Not the bars, but the liquor stores, so you could drink quietly at home. And now we made pot legal, where in certain areas, Oregon, right? Everything is legal.
70% of Americans are stupid enough without drugs. Now they're really fucking stupid.
Yeah, Bobby, I agree with you. I'd rather have the evil misogynist back in office too. Oh, look at that! Who shot the teacher who had the gun? Whoa, Reuters. So that's amazing. So they knew the kid had a gun, and they let the kid go in.
May have had gun. How do you know someone may have a gun?
Very good, Jen. Very good. May have had a gun.
I may be a rhinoceros. Not sure.
Oh my gosh. Oh well. And this one is from our favorite news channel. Not the only one that I watch, but the one that I think gets to the bottom of things. Fox. This is Governor Huckabee talking about all the money the UPenn took from the Chinese.
The Biden people act like they're just so surprised that after all of their hair pulling and robe tugging about Donald Trump's documents, turns out Joe Biden had a bunch stored over at the Penn Biden Center. And, that's just a little place where the Communist Chinese Party have been shelling out millions of dollars through various ways to enrich that center. This is scandalous, but don't worry. This morning, I feel certain the FBI took 27 armed agents and rushed into Joe Biden's private residences and went through Jill's closets to see if they could find anything.
Governor, sarcasm is a low form of wit, but I rather enjoy it on occasion, and that's the truth. Big picture for a second. Do you feel that somehow or other China has something on our president? And it's showing up now through Hunter, the documents, and all the rest of it. They got something on him. You feel that way?
Well, if you believe anything that was in the absolute, just ironclad evidence of Hunter's laptop, we know that's true. We know that he was the big guy getting a 10% cut. We know that he was the one who kind of directed his son and let him ride on Air Force One over to China to make these multi-million-dollar deals. And Joe was coming off pretty good with this stuff. I don't know why there's not more outrage in the country. I don't know why even Democrats aren't demanding that there's some accountability for these unanswered questions. But some of these questions actually have answers, but the media is too stinking lazy and biased to just tell us what the facts clearly show.
I love him. Media is too stinking lazy and biased.
Yep.
Well, you know what I think? I think that the media never did get into the story of the Hunter Biden laptop because they were kept from the story of the Hunter Biden laptop, right? By the FBI, Russian disinformation, they tagged it. And that lie went out there. And now reporters are not doing investigations, and none of them believe it's so because they were so committed to not reporting on the story and to claiming it was misinformation and disinformation, that now if they start to report on the Hunter Biden laptop or even try to report on the story, they're going to look like idiots, right? So what do we all do as human beings? When we make a mistake, we don't want to relive that mistake, right? We don't want to bring, well, I always bring up my mistakes, but most people don't. So they don't want to learn from that mistake. So they want to sweep it under the rug and they want to move forward. And that's exactly what's happening here. And they can't connect the fact that Hunter in his laptop, were being paid by the Chinese, by the Ukraine, for influence. And then connect that with the fact that Biden had those top secret documents during that time in his possession. And Hunter had access to them. They don't want to connect that story. And that is a shame because we all expect politicians to be corrupt and liars, but we never expect our news media to be. Our news media is what is supposed to be telling us the truth. That's why we have the First Amendment, the right, to speak out against our government. It wasn't written just for the American citizens. It was written specifically for the media, because at that time, if you wrote anything bad about the king, you could be killed. So our forefathers wanted to make sure that the media was always, the newspapers at the time, that's all it was, were protected, and that nobody could be condemned, could be arrested and thrown in prison for speaking out against the government. And so that was the American news media, and that was their deal, their covenant with the American citizens, where we protect you under the Constitution and you tell us the truth always. And they broke that covenant with the people. So that was my soliloquy. Me too, Jen. They should not in solitary confinement like the young Boston bomber bastard should rot if they don't kill him. All right. What about the visitors? The visitors to the House or the visitors to UPenn? What's sad is the fact that Democrats and the media don't give a damn about history and fact. Well, but that's what they do first, right? I mean, George Orwell said it in 1984. First, you get rid of history. And then you get rid of intelligence and free thought. And then, you just follow the state. He's definitely corrupted in the pocket of China, without a doubt. New law can't say anything bad anymore, minority. Well, you can say it. See, that's the whole thing. You can say things. You could say, and I don't know, me personally, I'd rather have everybody say everything. Even if I don't.
Me too.
Right?
Who cares? We had 20 years ago, everybody said anything they wanted.
That's right. Everybody say everything, and then that shows
no one
you.
cried. There was no crybabies. No one had man buns 20 years ago. Everybody owned their shit and took shit.
That's right. That's right. Well, listen, you grew up in a time where bullying was, it was a rite of passage.
You got bullied, you got handed a scrunchie, pull your hair back and go fight them.
That's right. I certainly got bullied, and I don't think that. Look, I don't think that it's great, but that it happens. But I mean, we've got a law for everything now, and rules for our rights are being restricted, and kids are not being taught anything adverse, and that's making them very fragile adults. And that's what we can't.
Feelings. Yeah. The only thing that's going to hurt my feelings is if you kill my parents or my son. That's it. That's what's going to hurt my feelings. You could say anything about them. I don't care.
That's it.
And they have. They have.
Yeah.
But the person you were running.
And the great thing is when people mouth off like that, then you get to see who the assholes are, right? When you see somebody, it's always been my my personal feeling that I have listened to people. I've heard racists speak, whether they're black racists, white racists, Chinese racist, whatever. I've heard racists speak, and I said, these are not people I want to hang out with. But if they weren't able to speak, I wouldn't know that they were racist, right? I've heard people condemn people with disabilities. There are things out there in the world that are not nice, but if you silence everybody, you're never going to know who people truly are. And that's more dangerous than anything else, because then you find yourself in a bad way. Why do Democrats call this son of Holocaust survivors a Nazi? That tells all about the Democrats in the past. Yeah, well, that's, they use the word racist like it's nothing.
Like Trump, you're a racist.
Yeah.
But wait a second. I know plenty of black people that like Trump, so they're racist.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna hear about too in a little bit. I have a clip about we lost. I know Lynette Hardaway, Diamond from Diamond and Silk. She passed away. We have a clip, a tribute to her. But they called them racist. So
That's all you got, people. But they are people. You know what's so great? These are the same people that everything hurts their feelings, yet they throw these words around like racist, all this stuff that are hurtful words. They throw around. They could do it, but God forbid you say anything to them, or you label them with how they identify. I feel unsafe.
Yeah,
unsafe. When you have a gun to your head, that's when you feel unsafe. I don't want to run in my mouth.
Right. Words shouldn't make you feel unsafe. That's a good point, Martin. Very good point. It's the truth. Public Enemy. They warned us. Before 1912, no income tax, no entitlement. 10% had jobs, 90% in business for themselves. That's right. That's right. I mean, the world was different then. And wars could only be fought if people gave money to the government to fight the wars. I mean, the government didn't have a lot of money.
Well, it's just going to go back to 1912. Now everyone's going to have their own jobs. The cartels are here, the sex traffickers. We have everyone with their own businesses.
Everybody's going to be self-employed. Yeah, well, I think that the one thing that is happening today that upsets me greatly is when people toss around the word racist or anti-Semite or Nazi so easily. It actually reduces the power and the meaning of that word.
But the ones that throw it around are the ones that don't want you using that. You saying things to them that are hurtful.
Yeah.
Like go to work.
Yeah.
That hurt your feelings?
Like the poor Twitter employees. No more wine. Oh
no! The lunch for you.
Well, the Republicans have taken control, and they got rid of Adam Schiff from the Intelligence Committee, and Swalwell. And we all remember that Swalwell had a girlfriend who was actually a Chinese spy, and he claims he didn't know, but they left him on the Intelligence Committee. So I've got a clip from McCarthy, who put in a bill to ensure that we didn't have anyone who was liaisoning with spies on the Intelligence Committee. This was from 2 years ago, but it still stands true now. Watch.
I have grave concerns about the current composition of the Intelligence Committee. The Speaker and I received the same classified briefing from the FBI. The details were deeply disturbing. Yet so far, the allegations, which have not been denied, have gone unaddressed. As the House considers this question, I hope all members will reflect on the purpose and responsibilities of this select panel. I want all members to ask this one question. Should a member who can't get a security clearance in the private sector sit on the House Intelligence Committee? Think about that for one moment. Should a member who cannot get a security clearance in the private sector sit on the House Intelligence Committee? The American people deserve to know what their government is not vulnerable. By adopting my resolution, we will show that we have our priorities straight. I urge my colleagues to support it, and I yield back.
I was talking about Swalwell, and that's right, Bobby. Fang. So Swalwell continued to sit on the House Intelligence Committee until until McCarthy just kicked him off, and he cried about it, and he said it was vengeance. But the fact is he can't get security clearance in a private sector, but he's getting all of our intelligence. What the hell? This is, I don't understand. I'm
so unintelligent. Retarded. That's it. Yep, I said retarded. This is all retarded. This whole country is retarded. I don't care. Retarded.
The Intelligence Committee is an oxymoron.
Intelligence company is retarded.
I don't know. I don't know. This is nuts. It's nuts. I'm so glad, Martin. I enjoy it too. It's the only time I see her. She's working all the time, so we have to do this in order for us to see each other. Look at the United Nations. The most despotic nations had the human rights. It's the truth. It's the truth. I mean, I'm just waiting to wake up because this can't be real.
Oh, see, I'm waiting for the whole world to blow up because that's what's going to happen. Or the dinosaurs are going to come back. I'm not sure. Probably just blow up. There's nothing else that can happen. Everyone just has to go at once. That's it. There's no fixing this. Wipe a clean slate and start over. You're all dead.
I can't see how we could possibly fix it. It's happening around the world.
This is like an episode of Black Mirror. It is like the worst episode of Black Mirror you could possibly think of is what's going on right now.
Absolutely. My stomach gets sick. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I feel like an old person all the time saying, back when I was a kid, you were allowed to say she to a he or he to a she or that. Look, you can't do anything anymore.
A little known fact, Swalwell can get final secret from State Department now. Not sure I understand that. Do you understand that, Jen? What's the final secret? What's the final secret? Is it the lottery numbers? What's the final secret?
Everybody's retarded.
That there's no intelligence on the Intelligence Committee.
All retarded.
Yes, it has always been about population control. And it is. It's about, we're seeing it now. It's about population control, workforce, making, I just don't understand that the workforce part of it because nobody wants to work anymore. So I'm not sure how we're developing.
Well, when you complain, that's working to them. When you sit there and just complain.
Oh, listen, Martin Lee's new novel is about the end of the world. That's pretty good. Jennifer has been waiting for clearance. Got it. So Swalwell can get he could get State Department clearance now? Really? Why? Did he break up with Fang? What happened? How come Swalwell could get it? I don't get it. All right, well, as I mentioned earlier, Anita Lynette Hardaway, who was Diamond of Diamond and Silk, passed away. And I thought that for those of you who never followed her or them, that I would like to show a clip. One of them, the funnier ones, I thought, of them at a Sarah Huckabee press conference, Sarah Sanders press conference when she was working for Trump. Watch.
Blake.
Sarah, picking up on that, with the president hitting the road yesterday, he made it seem as if this should be a simple bipartisan fix. However, Democrats are saying that there should not be tax relief for those who are the wealthiest 1% of earners. Does the president believe that the wealthiest 1% deserve tax relief?
Hold up, Sarah. Hold up for one moment, because I know he just.
We coming up there. Hold on one second.
No, he did. Who he talking to now? We got this. Hold up, Sarah. Hold up. We got this. We got this.
Hold up.
Listen up.
Listen.
Those Democrats work for the American people.
All of us.
And we, the people, want a tax cut. So it's time for the Democrats to stop acting like they discriminating against people because they may make $1 too much. And I don't know why they so envious and jealous, because most of them went in poor and now they all filthy rich. So we tired, as the American people, of these Democrats always being a day late and $1 short. Always trying to shortchange the American people.
That's about right.
Either they can pass tax cuts, or it look like we may have to vote them out. Now you go run and go tell them that. Sorry, Sarah. Sorry, girl.
Sorry, girl.
Had to get them
Yeah,
straight.
yeah.
Had to get them straight.
Funny.
I love them. The world's not going to be the same anymore without them. They were too much. They were fantastic. I used to follow them.
Well, which one died, but one went on, so maybe.
The one with the long hair died.
I don't know. The Siskel or Ebert, they one had long hair.
I'm sorry, Siskel and Ebert. Oh yeah, but it was never the same anymore.
Never. It's never gonna be the same. This world isn't the same.
Got it.
Find someone that identifies as diamond. I don't know.
I got it. I got what you're saying. All right. Well, that was our show for tonight. I hope you all enjoyed it. And thank you again for all your props, because you have gotten us over to TNT Radio.
Pub. Right down the block from your house.
At the pub, where the viewership is hundreds of hundreds instead of tens of tens. So we're getting up there, Jen. Getting up there. You have any last words, Jen?
No, I do not. I'm going to bed. Like 3 hours last night.
See you next Tuesday, Bobby. See you,
tomorrow.
Ralph. See you all. Thanks, Martin. Thanks, everybody, for being on tonight.